Hey guys, I wanted to go over really quickly some of the newer stuff from Blake Lively's deposition that was unsealed. This was included by Jed Wallace in his motion to dismiss her second amended complaint. It's obviously not going to be the full transcript, but there are some parts here that we can see that we weren't able to see before. So here the attorney is asking, I'm just trying to find out if you're aware of anything that Jed Wallace has published about you that you complain about that would be part of a smear campaign. She doesn't understand the question, so they explain what libel is, what defamation is. Is there anything you've seen in writing that you believe that Mr. Wallace has authored that is defamatory, disparaging, or says mean things about you? Then Blake asks, that's happening currently? Currently, I don't read news about me or go on social media about me. So personally, I don't have knowledge. No. The attorney says, okay, and that's as of today. And going backward in time, can you identify any written thing that you believe Mr. Wallace published about you that is defamatory, disparaging, in any way offending to you? Blake says a specific article or no, I don't know a specific article. The attorney says, okay, it could be a post, anything in writing that you can look at it, like I'm looking at this screen and reading, and you're not aware of anything that he's authored that you can actually see whether it's a post, an article, or a video or something like that. Blake says, I can't cite a specific article. My understanding from the documents I received is that he was a part of this campaign which contained a lot of content. But to be able to name one specific article, if that's what you're asking, no. The attorney says, yeah, okay, and you were right to focus on one specific article, and I also wanted to focus on one specific author, which would be Mr. Wallace. And are you aware of any specific article that he authored himself, maybe in conjunction with others, but that he authored himself? Blake says, with his name on it? No. I understand Mr. Wallace's work to be quite clandestine, so I'm not aware of anything that has his name on it, no. The lawyer asks, how do you know his work was quite clandestine? And Blake says, that's how it's been described to me by everyone who knows him, that everyone who I've spoken with who knows him. It's also what was described in the documents we received, both in the JonesWorks documents as well as documents in Discovery. Well, I'm glad she made that distinction between the JonesWorks documents and the documents in Discovery. As we know, Blake obtained the JonesWorks documents through Van Zandt in a way that was not exactly above board. Who described him to you as quite clandestine? You said that people told you that. Who told you that? Blake says, I don't know that those were the words that were used. What? You just said that. That was just a general sort of descriptor or the general idea. Then unfortunately it skips ahead to page 261. So between the end of this page and the beginning of this one, there's not like continuity there. The lawyer is saying the production started in early May of 2023. Is that right? Of the movie It Ends With Us. Blake says the filming itself started, I believe, yes, in May 2023. And then the lawyer asks, and was that in California? And Blake says, no, it was in New Jersey. The lawyer says, oh, I thought everything was in California. The attorney then asks, okay, was the movie shot anywhere other than New Jersey or California? She says, I believe they did additional photography and wide shots and inserts, not inserts, but wider shots of scenery in other locations. You weren't involved in them? They just shot them other places? She says, yes. Okay, so Chip Babcock, I don't know, just reading it like on the page like this, it's weird. It's like funny how he says things. It's like I almost want to read it in like a Texas accent, but I'm not going to do it because I'm already sick and my voice sounds bad, but it would only be worse if I did it in a Texas accent because I don't know how to do that. He says, last night we received a second amended complaint and it's a big, thick old thing. And what he says on the rest of this page, it does not continue into the next, so we're just going to skip ahead. He asks, what is astroturfing? Blake says, my understanding of astroturfing is when a conversation or sentiment is inorganic. And unlike a grassroots marketing campaign, it is fake in that it is a sentiment that is where there is a particular person, group, or organization behind it. Question, okay, and you say in this complaint that the coordinated astroturfing campaign to discredit and bury Miss Lively, what do you mean by bury you? The astroturfing campaign was meant to bury you. Do you know what that means? What is meant by that? She says, I do. Blake says, they were descriptives that were used by Justin Baldoni, Jennifer Abel, and Melissa Nathan. The term bury, he wants to feel like she can be buried. And Melissa Nathan said, we can bury her. So that's why that word was chosen. Okay, then Chip says, this is going to seem like a facetious or silly question, but you didn't take that to mean that they were going to physically bury you, just that they were going to reputationally bury you. Is that how you took it or not? Oh my god. Blake says, when they said that, I felt reputationally. When Steve Sarowitz said that there would be 2 dead bodies by the time that he was done with us, yeah, I considered that might be literal. Okay, there's actually no objective proof that he ever said that, right? So this is just what's coming out of Blake's mouth. It also wasn't said directly to her. We have no idea who said that to her, to my knowledge. If you guys know who said that to her, then let me know. The lawyer says, you thought you might be in physical jeopardy. Blake says, you, as a mother, you feel like anything could be possible in those moments. It's terrifying. Question. Yeah, putting aside the physical jeopardy was the reference to burying and 2 dead bodies inclusive of reputational injury or not? She says, I'm sorry, I don't understand the question. And then again, there's no continuity between the pages here. So it's moving on to something else. When Mr. Friedman allegedly made these defamatory comments on behalf of Mr. Wallace, did he make them prior to the lawsuit? To that lawsuit, which has now been dismissed, being sent to New York? Blake says, my understanding is that Mr. Friedman's harmful statements started as soon as the first case started, which would be mine. So December of 2024. Question. Okay. The premiere of It Ends With Us, the film, was on August 6, 2024. Is that right? She says, I don't know the exact date, but that sounds correct. And then they're just clarifying the date of the premiere and of the film's release, which was August 9th. So August 6th or August 9th, I guess, is what we're referencing here. He says, okay, and you testified earlier that that was when you first became aware of the negative argument or the negative article about you, right? Blake says, not an article, no. It felt, no, not one article. So that just gives some more context to Jed's motion to dismiss Blake Lively's second amended complaint. In light of everything that's come out recently, it seems like the Wayfarer parties are guilty of doing standard PR, defensive PR, especially in a crisis situation. I don't think that can be considered a retaliatory smear campaign. People are pointing to these emails or texts where they were talking about the services that they could provide, but that doesn't mean those were the services that they actually engaged in. In fact, I believe Wayfarer clarified at one point that they did not take the more aggressive option. And Jed Wallace has clarified that there was so much organic disapproval of Blake Lively in her decisions around her marketing of the film and such, and just the way she treats other people in general, the way that kept coming up, that he didn't really have to do anything. Just monitor the trends. And that's all pretty well documented. All right, guys, that's all I got for now. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you all soon.